inshallah.
Inshallah. So, alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. So, I will bring, so brothers and sisters who are watching. So, this was, so initially we presented one simple open and shut case in which, and don't forget the topic, that don't get distracted by these murabbis and their tactics. Mirza Ghulam Qadyani himself has given you the criterion to verify the truthfulness or falsehood of his claims. And the first example we gave is, we chose two things or two people from his writings. Sanaullah Sahib, Abdul Hakim Patyalvi. He said that the truthful one will outlive the liar. Or he said that the liar will die in the lifetime of the truthful one. In both cases, be it Abdul Hakim Patyalvi, be it Sanaullah Amr Sari Rahimahullah, in both cases, Mirza Ghulam Qadyani died in their lifetime, and particularly in the case of Sanaullah Sahib, Mirza Ghulam Qadyani died exactly as he was praying against himself to be dying. So there was one example that he gave you the criteria, and on his own criteria, he's proven to be a liar. Second example we gave you is that he said that just wait till my death, and I'm gonna bring an end to this Jesus worship. What happened? Did he achieve? He neither achieved in the physical sense that there was no more Christianity, and nor he achieved through any of the arguments. I have given very simple, verifiable evidence that if his arguments, first of all, I said before, bring us that one, not two, just one argument which was exclusive to Mirza Ghulam Qadyani, that he is the one who brought the argument, and there was such a irrefutable argument that it brought an end to the Christian faith. Which argument was that? Bring to us. It must not be death of Isa alayhi salam, because death of Isa salam is not exclusive to Mirza Ghulam Qadyani, according to his own admission. And even if you want us to give you the name, look at the name of Sayyid Ahmad Khan, which is called Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan in the subcontinent. Even though he was also a misguided person, okay, he has his own type of misguidance, but that's not the topic right now. But what I'm trying to say is, go and read his quote unquote tafsir of the Quran, and you will see there that he is contemporary to Mirza Ghulam Qadyani, and he is actually, before Mirza Ghulam Qadyani, he is declaring the alleged death of Isa alayhi salam. So there is nothing that is exclusive to Mirza Ghulam Qadyani. Now I will give you a third example. Look, wallahi, I swear by Allah, right now I can give you 10 examples, but I want you to stick with these three examples. And if for any sincere hearted person these three examples are not good enough, then I personally don't think that any amount of evidence can convince you. Now, the third example is again not mine. It's not mine example. I'm gonna give you the criteria of Mirza Ghulam Qadyani, and then we're gonna judge Mirza Ghulam Qadyani on his own given criterion. Okay. Now let me share my screen, and inshallah I give you this third example as well. So, okay, uh, yes, this, yeah, it's almost there. Yeah, let me make it a bit bigger as well. And inshallah, this is already a complete presentation. And if somebody wants to take the screenshots, okay. Now, what is the criterion? Now, I'm gonna give you the criterion is that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadyani is telling us that if a person is a liar, his speech will be contradictory. And this is exactly actually Quranic criterion as well. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if this Quran was from someone other than Allah, you would find in this Quran many contradictions. So, in a nutshell, if there are contradictions, real contradictions, irreconcilable. Look, we are not saying, inshallah, we will never be unfair to anyone. There can be things which may seemingly be contradictory, but then when you talk to the scholars, they can show to you that this is actually an apparent contradiction, not a real contradiction. So our topic is real irreconcilable contradictions. If these are found in the speech or writings of someone, according to Mirza Ghulam Qadyani, then this person is not from God. Look at this one. He says that this first reference is Ruhani Khazain, volume number 10, page 143. I'm reading both in Urdu and English because I know for sure as a fact that there are many people, they still cannot understand English. Inshallah, I will read Urdu as well. And that's okay, by the way. Nobody knows all the languages. Okay, he said that Kisi Sachiyar. First of all, Mirza Ghulam Qadyani is titled as Sultanul Kalam, that he was king of the pen. Go and look at the dictionary. This word, Sachiyar, basically the word for truthful person. It's a very strange word, very weird word. Okay, anyhow, that's not the topic. किसी सच्चार अक्लमंद और साफ दिल इंसान के कलाम में हरगिज तनाकुज नहीं होता. हाँ, अगर कोई पागल या मजनून या मुनाफिक हो कि खुशामिद के तौर पे हाँ में हाँ मिला देता हो, इसका कलाम बेशक मुतनाकिस होता है. He said there can never be contradictions in the speech of a truthful, rational and a clean-hearted person. Take a pause here. If there are contradictions, that it is the proof that the person is liar, irrational, and a filthy heart. Okay, look at. He said, however, the speech of a crazy madman or a hypocrite who says yes to others just as a flattery is undoubtedly contradictory. Ruhani Khazain, volume 10, page 143. Very clear? Look at next one. Ruhani Khazain, volume 21, page number 275. झूठे के कलाम में तनाकुज जरूर होता है. He said that speech of a liar contains contradictions necessarily because zurur. Next one, Ruhani Khazain, volume 22, page 191. He says, इस शख्स की हालत एक मुखबितुल हवास इंसान की हालत है कि एक खुला तनाकुस अपने कलाम में रखता है. He said that he is like an insane person whose speech contained explicit contradictions. So in all of these, there are many more, by the way. But one thing what you are learning here is Mirza Ghulam Qadyani is giving you a criterion. He said if there are contradictions, like real contradiction in somebody's speech or statement, this person is a liar, he's a crazy, he's a madman. Clear? Now I give you, now on this criterion, Uqsim Billah, we can give you dozens of examples. But we are not going to bother you with heaps of information which you cannot verify. We're giving you a handful of information which you can go verify and take a wise decision. Now, the case study is, let's start with the age of Jesus. Okay, the age of Jesus. Ruhani Khazain, volume number 14, page number 388. हजरत ईसा अलैहिस्सलाम की उम्र 120 बरस की हुई थी. मुहद्दिसीन ने इस हदीस को अव्वल दर्जा की हदीस माना है और कोई जरा नहीं किया. He said Isa alayhi salam lived 120 years. And then he says the hadith scholars have accepted this narration as a top graded narration and there is no criticism against it. Clear? This is own statement. So age is 120. Let's move on. His second statement. Volume number is 15, page number is 55. अहादीस और मोतबर रिवायतों से साबित है कि नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमाया कि हजरत मसीह 100 की उम्र 125 बरस की हुई. He said that it is, he said in narrations, he said in narrations and reliable traditions, it is proven that our prophet peace be upon him, said that Isa ibn Maryam lived for 125 years. So 120 and now 125. Okay. And by the way, this 120, I have given the footnote here that this 125 is confirmed on Ruhani Khazain, volume 15, on page number 499 as well. Okay. Now, look at third statement now. So far, 120, 125, and now third statement. Mirza Ghulam Qadyani, look at the way he is narrating all of that. Ruhani Khazain, volume number 19, page number 103. He said, और फिर सब के बाद आज हमें खबर मिली है, ये ऐसी खबर है कि गोया आज मुसलमानों के लिए ईद का दिन चढ़ा दिया. He said that today I have received a news, and he says that news is such a great news. It is like the day of Eid for the Muslims, day of celebration for the Muslims, right? And what is it? और वो ये है कि हाल में बामकाम यरूशलेम पितरस हवारी का दस्तखती एक कागज पुरानी इब्रानी में लिखा हुआ दस्तयाब हुआ है. He said that recently a letter from Jerusalem written by Peter in the Hebrew language has been discovered, जिसको किताब कश्ती नू के साथ शामिल किया गया. He said, I have included this letter in my book Ark of Noah or कश्ती नू. इससे साबित होता है कि he said that इससे साबित होता है कि हजरत मसीह सलीब के वाकया से तकरीबन 50 बरस बाद इसी जमीन पे फौत हो गए. He said that it proves what? He said this letter proves that Isa alayhi salam died 50 years after the event of crucifixion on this land. इसी जमीन पे, on that same land. Which land? Jerusalem. Okay. और वो कागज एक ईसाई कंपनी ने 2.5 लाख रुपए दे के खरीद लिया है. He said that letter has been purchased by a Christian company for $250,000 rupees. क्योंकि ये फैसला हो गया है कि वो पितरस की तहरीर है. He said because it has been established that the letter is from Peter, i.e. the disciple of Jesus. Clear? Ruhani Khazain, volume 19, page number 103. Are you with me? So far, he said that 125 is from the authentic hadith, 120 from the authentic hadith, and here is telling you that the historical established evidence, according to Mirza Ghulam Qadyani, it proves that Isa Salam died at age of 83. Let's move on. And by the way, please take a screenshot of this one. I'm going to take a pause. You can take the screenshot. I have given the reference, so you can verify this one, because in October 1908, please pay attention, in October 1908, in Ruhani Khazain, volume 21, and the book is Burahine Ahmadiyya Panjam, Mirza Ghulam Qadyani has again confirmed this same piece of information, i.e. the letter of Peter. So it's not something which Mirza Ghulam Qadyani wrote at one point and then he basically retracted. He did not retract it. He did not correct himself. He acknowledged that letter in his book, which was published even after his death. Okay, now let's make it more confusing. I'm saying this confusion in inverted commas. Okay. He says that Imam Malik ने कहा कि ईसा मर गया और वो 33 बरस का था जब फौत हुआ. Ruhani Khazain, volume number 8, page 294. He said that Imam Malik rahimahullah allegedly said that Isa alayhi salam died at the age of 33, and he is not confronting this statement either. Now take a pause here. If somebody brings a quotation and if they disagree, they have to contradict that. They have to confront the quotation. They have to say, okay, it's a wrong, or it's wrong attribution, or whatever. But you can see that he is acknowledging the 33 age as well. Okay, now look at these two notes. We challenge Ahmadiyya Jamaat that they can never prove with any authentic report from Imam Malik that he said or wrote what Mirza Ghulam Qadiani has claimed. Because in Islam, you cannot just allege things to people. You cannot just attribute things to people. You need to produce the right chain of narration, and then you need to produce your evidence. Okay. Secondly, it is proven that Imam Malik said, sorry, if it is proven that Imam Malik said this, then I mean, obviously, it is a hypothesis. If it is proven that Imam Malik has said this, then Mirza Ghulam Qadiani must be a liar. Why? Because he is telling you that Isa died at the age of 120, 125, or 83. Because if those statements are correct, then this has to be wrong. So if Imam Malik's, first of all, it can never be proven from Imam Malik. That's the main point. But secondly, if it is proven from Imam Malik, then it will only prove Mirza Ghulam Qadiani was a liar. Okay, now, very quickly, because these two things are interrelated, I give you the example of the grave of Isa alayhi salam as well. Look at this one. Volume number 3 of रूहानी खजाइन, पेज नंबर 353. ये तो मसीह है कि अपने वतन गैलिली जाके फौत हो गया. He said, this is Messiah, i.e. Isa ibn Maryam, who died in his homeland Galilee. Because Galilee was the district and Nazareth was the town of Isa alayhi salam, according to the biblical records. Now, second his next statement, did I miss something? Okay, no problem. So look at this statement. लुत्फ तो ये है कि हजरत ईसा की भी बिलाद शाम में कब्र मौजूद है. रूहानी खजाइन, वॉल्यूम नंबर 8, पेज नंबर 296. He said that the interesting fact is, or the interesting thing is, that the grave of Isa alayhi salam is in Syria. So this was Galilee, and now it has gone to Syria. Let's move on. और तुम यकीनन समझो कि ईसा इब्न मरियम फौत हो गया और कश्मीर श्रीनगर महल्ला खानियार में इसकी कब्र है. He said that have certainty that Isa alayhi salam, or Jesus Christ, has passed away and his grave is in Kashmir, Srinagar, in the locality of Khaniar. Volume number 19, page number 16. Okay, now let's read the fatwa of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani. After reading all of that, now obviously either the grave of Isa alayhi salam is going to be in Syria, or in Galilee, or in Kashmir. All of these three statements, for us, all of them are wrong. But for the Ahmadiyya community, which one of them is correct? Okay, look at this one. ऐसा आदमी जो हर रोज खुदा पे झूठ बोलता है और आप ही एक बात तराशता है और फिर कहता है कि ये खुदा की वही है जो मुझको हुई है, ऐसा बदजात इंसान तो कुत्तों, सूरों और बंदरों से बदतर होता है. फिर कब मुमकिन है खुदा इसकी हिमायत करे? रूहानी खजाइन, वॉल्यूम 21, पेज 292. He said that a man who lies on God every day and makes up one thing or fabricates something and then claims that this is from God, this is God's revelation, such a wicked person is worse than dogs, pigs, and monkeys. Then how is it possible that God will support him? His own verdict. Now take a pause here. Obviously, no person in the right state of mind can say that all the statements about the age of Isa alayhi salam, they are not contradictory, because 120, 125, and then 83, and then 33 from Imam Malik's alleged attribution. And then with regard to the grave, Galilee, it was Syria, it was Kashmir. Statements are contradictory. And how we began this topic, Mirza Ghulam Qadiani said that if a person is a liar, his speech must be contradictory. I let you decide. That is it God informing Mirza Ghulam Qadiani? And last thing I want to mention is, please listen this point very carefully. Subhanallah, I'm surprised. When the common Ahmadis discuss these issues with the Murabbis, what do they say? Oh, look at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the early times, people used to drink khamr, and then the khamr was prohibited. Subhanallah, subhanallah. Is it the example to explain all of these contradictions? Because in Mirza Ghulam Qadyani's time, religion was already perfected, number one. And number two, please, people, this is the key point you need to understand. This is the key point you need to understand. The key point. When it comes to khabar, or news, there is no gradual progression. I.e., the grave of Isa alayhi salam is where? It's a khabar, it's a news. There cannot be any progression in the news. When it comes to the rulings, there can be and there had been progression. For example, because that society, they were so addicted to alcohol. So the hukam or the ruling of making it absolute haram, it came gradually. So those are the rulings. The community was being trained. But when it comes to khabar, when it comes to news, there is no concept of progression in the news. Either Isa alayhi salam died at the age of 120 or 125 or 83 or 33. It's not progression. It is that some of the statements are wrong because all of them can't be true. And last but not the least, they will tell, oh, look at the Muslims, when they used to face Jerusalem in their salah, in their prayer, and then they started to face Mecca. Hang on a second. When Muslims were facing Jerusalem, that was with the command of Allah. That was correct. When Muslims started to face Mecca, that was through the command of Allah. That was correct. So both of those things are correct. And both of those two things were with the hukam of Allah, with the command of Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself has told us the wisdom as well. That Allah was testing the people. That is their allegiance to the obedience to Allah and His Messenger or to some other things. Think about this. So there is no, you can say, similarity in this example. And the key point, what I said earlier, when it comes to news, khabar, there is no concept of progression. It is either true or false. Simple as that. So inshallah, again, the case, we put our case with the common Ahmadis. We let them decide that how they are going to live with these contradictory statements which are there according to Mirza Ghulam Qadyani's own criteria. They are there to prove that he was a liar. Ji Adnan bhai or Ahmad, inshallah, if you want to add something or if you want to comment. Ahmad bhai, maybe Adnan bhai is busy. If you want to comment.
Yes, inshallah. So this is a particular thing. I always, Nazbillah and Zalik, they keep doing this, and which is really, really upsetting. But still, just because we want the layman Ahmadis or the Qadianis to understand. So you see, the Quran was revealed over the period of 21 years, right? The lifespan of Prophet Muhammad, the 23 years, the lifespan of Prophet Muhammad after the Wahi. And if you read the Quran, and this is something really amazing, like in Ramadan, we just focus more on the Quran. There are numerous times, at least 5 or 6 times, where the story of Musa alayhi salam has been described. And it is described in great details from different angles. And it's the same story, but from different angles, with different dialogues, with different language. So even the ayahs are not the same. It's different words, different ayahs. But what you find, and there's some information in one of them, which is not in the other one of them. But if you bring them together, there's nothing contradictory. It's one in one surah where it's mentioned, the other surah complements it and adds a bit to it. But this is the wahi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That even though it was happening years after years, and between the two wahi, there might be 5 or 10 years, and there's no way a person would remember what he said like 10 years ago. But because it's for the wahi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so it's consistent. You cannot find any contradictions in it. No matter this, the story remains the same. The story of Musa alayhi salam and the Fir'aun is exactly the same. But this is not the case with Mirza. This is not the case with Mirza. So what you find, and this is a very good example also of khabar, because this khabar means a news, right? So this event of Musa alayhi salam and Fir'aun happened in the past, sometime in the past of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Quran repeatedly also tells Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that you did not know these stories. We are telling you these stories of ghaib, of something that you did not have access to. So the same way, this is a khabar. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot go back and now change, tweak the story over the period of time. How would it be? Na'udzubillah min zalik. If Prophet Muhammad was told a different story of Musa alayhi salam and the Fir'aun, in the 5th year of his prophethood, and a different story that is completely different in the 10th year of prophethood, would anybody believe in Prophet Muhammad? No. Would anybody believe that this wahi is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? No. We believe that the wahi of Prophet Muhammad is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without doubt, because it's consistent. The Quran claims that if it was from anybody other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you would find much contradiction and find zero contradiction in the Quran. And this is what the real, the deen, the right, the straight, the correct religion is. Now compare it with Mirza Sahib. And you see, Imtiaz Bhai showed you this. One particular thing, the death of Isa, that you want to say that this is what's going to decide between you and us. The age of Isa alayhi salam passing away, he does not have a single account on that, a single correct account on that. He uses everything or anything that goes for his evidence, and he disregards even when there's a sahih, when there's a correct opinion out there, a correct opinion from the Quran and a correct ayah or the hadith. He's going to reject that, and he's going to take up everything that goes for his claim. He would take, subhanallah, this report from Imam Malik, which is Imtiaz Bhai already told you that it is not authenticated. There's no authenticated report on this, but he would use it even though if it's not an authentic report. And then he'll contradict himself and claim that he died at 120 when Malik is saying that he died at 30. He'll say he died at 120, right? So he'll contradict himself. And subhanallah, even about the grave, sometimes he'll say the grave is in Galilee, sometimes say the grave in Syria, and then the grave keeps on shifting. Subhanallah, no consistency at all. And this is not this one particular thing. Subhanallah, Imtiaz Bhai is actually showing you a very, very particular thing, right? But this is for every single theological, religious opinion he had in his life, that he has contradiction in them. Because he already told us. Why does he have contradiction in them? Because the speech of a liar must have, it's a necessity that it must have contradictions. So because he was a liar, and who was giving a fatwa that he was a liar? Subhanallah. And this also again tells us the truthfulness of Islam and the truthfulness of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said that after me, people are going to claim to be prophets, and they are of the Dajjalun wa Kadhabun, and Kadhab means a liar. So now Prophet Muhammad gave the fatwa that Mirza Sahib is a liar, and Mirza Sahib explains that once somebody is a liar, then what happens? We ask Mirza Sahib, if somebody is a liar, what happens? He says, when somebody is a liar, he has a lot of contradictions in his work. Now we have to just figure out whether Mirza Sahib has contradictions or not, and that, like Imtiaz Bhai showed, there are numerous contradictions. There's not just contradiction in this opinion, but every single opinion, theological opinion that Mirza Sahib gave, he has an alternative, a different, a contradictory, a 180-degree statement to that particular thing that he said. And we find him in his writing loud and clear. There's just two things where Mirza Sahib never changed his stance. Mirza Sahib never changed his stance, so just two things. One thing was the following of the British Empire, following these colonial masters. He had never a change of opinion on this thing. This was his position on day one till his death. And the second opinion was, like they say, that he was a ghair tashrin nabi. He did not bring any change to the Sharia, but then He made jihad haram, and he kept with this opinion till his death. And both these opinions are together. These opinions aren't different. These opinions come as a package. So except for that, there is never opinion. There is not a single opinion from Mirza that does not have contradictions.